today we're going to be doing a video that you guys have been requesting a lot lately, and that's what is on my iPhone. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Before we do though, my name is Ashlynne, and if we don't know each other yet, I make videos on this channel 3 times a week about minimalism and intentional living. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, definitely be sure to do so below. Like I said though, today we're going to be talking about what's on my iPhone, so let's go ahead and get started. So yeah, let's go ahead and start off by talking about my home screen. I definitely go for very simple, clean pictures on this. Oftentimes I'll do it seasonally, so I'll have a picture there, and this one is just of mountains. And then yeah, once we get onto my iPhone, once again, super simple picture. I really hate the feeling of like the cluttered look that apps can often give, so I really try to keep only things that are essential. I've got 2 pages of apps, and I really just use like the top third of the iPhone screen that you can use. So I have a couple of different ones here. We have probably like 12 on the first row, and then I have just 2 rows on the second, but I've got some of the little kind of folders there. So let's go ahead and talk about kind of what I have on here. I have MyFitnessPal I use to help me make sure that I'm getting enough water in every single day. I have a tendency to get really bad headaches if I get dehydrated, so I definitely try to make sure that I'm getting enough water, and I feel like that's been the easiest way for me to track my water is if you go into the app, there's just a way of saying, okay, this is, you know, how many, this is my water goal for the day, and this is how many ounces I just had. So I do that. I also have the health up there because a lot of times I like to go on walks and I like knowing how far I walked. Obviously I haven't walked very far today, but you know, in like other days I'll try to make sure that I'm getting bare minimum of 5,000 steps, but yeah, trying to go on a walk that's at least a few miles long if I'm not getting any other exercise in for the day. So I have that there. Those are kind of like the health related apps to begin with. Then I have messages, and I really do try to disable notifications for as many apps as possible. I think messages might be the only one that I actually have notifications enabled for. There might be a couple of others, but for the most part I try to keep it super simple so I'm not getting a ton of notifications. So yeah, I have messages, kind of text people that I want to. Instagram, obviously I use that fairly frequently. I like to post there. If you guys actually don't follow me on Instagram, definitely you should go ahead and check my Instagram out. I just kind of, you know, here's my link. I'll put it somewhere around there at least. And yeah, I just like posting about my life, what I'm doing, what I'm learning, things like that. And then the next row we have camera, photos. Those are pretty self-explanatory. I use those a decent amount. Weather, let's see, what is the weather in Charlotte today? It's 6 degrees, that is Celsius, not Fahrenheit, just in case you're wondering. So yeah, I use that a lot. Reminders, I have, Christopher and I share like our grocery list and movies that we want to watch on reminders, and then just things that I need my phone to tell me to do because sometimes I don't remember. So next up, we have Evernote and Notes, and I use these for slightly different purposes, so I use both of them. So with Evernote, I love that you can have journals, and you can just kind of save notes to those specific journals. So this is taking a long time to load, but I've got a bunch of different, you know, I keep all of my YouTube video ideas on there, life notes, I keep track of all of the assignments I have for university on there, and a ton of other stuff. So that is just kind of my kind of more organized thoughts. And then on the notes page, I use this more for jotting down kind of quick thoughts. So I've got like, I do social media for a local nonprofit, and so I was just going ahead and redoing their kind of like Instagram bio and kind of coming up with some hashtags for them. So just kind of things that I'm trying to do more quickly, I'll definitely do there. I guess last couple of things are the calendar. I don't really use this very much, but I definitely do use it occasionally if I need to be reminded about something. So I feel like I've been using it more often lately, but I'm honestly not the best at using it. So yeah, and then clock, I use this to set my alarms to wake up to in the morning. Let's talk about the bottom row. These are just my most used apps: Mailbox, phone, Safari, and Spotify. I probably could change the phone for messages, but I mean, I'm just so used to it at this point that I feel like it would be too difficult to go and change now. So let's talk about the second page. The first two apps are kind of financial related apps. The first one is the virtual wallet, so it's just kind of my banking app. And then Every Dollar is our budgeting app, so that we can kind of keep track of how much we've spent in the month and kind of what we have budgeted in the month. Calculator I use all the time. Let's be honest here, who actually uses a real calculator anymore? In the utility section, I just have a couple of the apps that you can't delete off of your iPhone, as well as some that I keep there because I don't use them often, but I use them occasionally. Things like voice memos, music, FaceTime, things like that. So I do social media, like digital marketing for 2 different companies, and that's my job. On top of doing YouTube, so the social section is definitely a full page. So I use Hootsuite for scheduling posts for both of my jobs. I use GroupMe all the time for communicating with friends. A lot of like my friend groups will have like a dedicated GroupMe, and so we'll use that. And then, oh, I just went out of it. Yeah, Twitter, Facebook Messenger, YouTube, all that stuff I use on a very regular basis for job, sometimes for personal, but yeah, I mean, I guess I use YouTube for personal quite a bit. Then I have a miscellaneous category here, and this category is kind of like, I often will I like keeping like a very small number of apps on my phone. So I try to keep only apps that I'm using on a regular basis. If I'm not using it regularly, then I'll just delete it and then add it back if I find that I need it. So this miscellaneous is where things that are added back for a period of time will go. The only 2 exceptions are the Amazon and the Maps app, which I keep in that area all the time because I just don't know where else to put them. But like, so if I wanted to, you know, rent a bike in Charlotte, they have Lime Bike, and so I would add that app to this miscellaneous thing. If we were planning a trip, I'd probably add that Airbnb app here. If I was, you know, just kind of along those lines. If I was in the market for a new piece of furniture, who knows, I might add the IKEA app. So it's just kind of as needed. I'll add apps to them, and then when I find that I'm not using them, or when they've fulfilled their purpose for me, so like once we finished furnishing our home, I got rid of the IKEA app. As apps no longer continue to serve me, I'll just get rid of them. In the media section, I have my Bible app, podcast app, and bookshelf. I am always listening to new podcasts, which is really cool. It doesn't want to load for me, so I'm not gonna bother. But yeah, so I use those all on a really regular basis. In addition to Spotify, I probably use Spotify the most frequently, but I use all of those. And then just for doing video picture editing rather, I have my Canon camera app, and that allows me to go ahead and connect my camera to my phone so that I can download pictures from my camera really easily. And I have Visco and Snapseed, which I use for editing Instagram pictures. That is pretty much everything on my phone. I don't keep too much on here, but obviously I keep what I need. So yeah, as you guys I'm sure saw, I really do try to keep things simple. I feel like phones can definitely be a place where we allow a lot of clutter to just happen, and I don't think that it should be that way. I really do believe in trying to keep things simple, only using what you use on a regular basis, and just continue to evaluate it. Like I said, sometimes I'll add an app if I need it in the moment, but after I'm done using that app, I'll just kind of get rid of it for, you know, the purpose that it's already fulfilled its purpose. I don't need it any longer. So, and I mean, you can always add it back. So yeah, I tried to do that. I really tried to keep as much clean space and white space on my iPhone as I can. I just feel like it helps me to not get distracted as easily. And another thing I do, as you guys definitely saw, is I try to make sure that I'm not receiving notifications all the time. Those little like red buttons just drive me crazy. So I definitely tried to get rid of those too. But yeah, I would love to know too what your guys' phones might look like. Do you have kind of a very small amount of apps that you use only on a super regular basis, or do you just kind of like to go crazy with it? I think it would be really interesting to hear maybe what your favorite app is too, what's something that you get a lot of value from. Anyways, that's everything for this video, guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. Remember to subscribe today if you haven't already, and you have a fantastic day today. I'll see you in the next video.